Hi, welcome to Bruce's Garage. I'm Bruce, and this is my garage behind me. It is also my detailing studio, and I'm really excited to be able to show you all around the studio how I set things up, how I make it work for me to make me more efficient and effective when I'm detailing, and more importantly, allows me to have a lot more fun. So come on in and let me show you around. Here are some quick facts about the garage. It's a three-car garage, about 600 square feet. We've got 10-foot ceilings. It's all drywalled, epoxy floor, complete air conditioning and heating. Notice we have a lot of built-in cabinets that were here when we moved in, which is fantastic. The lighting also is excellent. We've added the prime lights. They're 5,000 Kelvin, so we get 9,300 lumens. So let's take a detailed look at how I've got the garage set up and show you all the features. The number one thing that's made detailing so much more efficient and really a lot more fun for me is my pressure washer and hose setup. This thing has just made it so darn easy to decide that I'm going to pull out and wash with water because I can take and I've got the hose all wrapped up here, got the pressure washer right here. Everything is self-contained. I have it all plumbed right here, so I don't have to plug anything in. I don't have to hook up anything. I don't have to drag a hose. I don't have to drag a pressure washer. This has been the number one thing that has made an absolute difference in my detailing experience. Not only more efficient, but a whole lot more fun. So I've got this whole wall with all of my detailing supplies. Let me give you a little bit of background on what my logic was in terms of the storage solution that I've selected and how I've organized everything. So number one was I wanted a solution that was flexible because I didn't know exactly where I wanted things or exactly what I needed. I had never done this before. I never had a garage like this before. I never had a blank slate. I was never detailing to the extent that I am now, where I had all of these different chemicals and tools. So I was really unsure exactly what I needed, but I had some objectives. Number one was I needed something flexible so that I could change it up either as I figured out a better way of doing something or if I suddenly purchased different kinds of products that were in different sizes and I needed some flexibility. So that led me to the Milwaukee Pack Out storage system. So it has the pack out wall plates, and then you can buy these different pieces and they come out. So they're just secured in there with a little connection, a locking connector. You can remove those, you can add those, you can pick different pieces of equipment to put in the storage system itself. So it's completely modular and flexible. Because one of the things I think is really important in your organization style or the way that you store your tools and equipment is you want them to be readily accessible. So the things that you need frequently should be easily accessible. The things that you use less frequently, you can put away, and that can be a little bit more challenging to get out. I also tried to organize in groups. So by the type of chemical or tool it is, and somewhat where it is in my process. So, for example, I started out with my foams right here. So I have my snow foams, reactivation shampoo, all my other foams here, Incredible Suds, Frostbite, CarPro Reset, Build Hamber, Touchless, whatever snow foam or soap that I'm using, I wanted really accessible and right here. So it's nice to have it visible. It also is a reminder if I'm running low on something or I'm out of something because there'd be an empty spot. So I've got my snow foams all right here, all my shampoos right there. And that makes it really convenient and easy for me. Now, some of these other things up here are things that I use a whole lot less frequently, but I still wanted them accessible. For example, this is all about water spot removal. I've got some glass polish here that I use occasionally. This up here is all my interior leather care. So I have my color lock supplies and my leather star from Koshemi, my brushes, my foamers, things that I use for leather protection and leather cleaning. This is also all interior items, but I have interior ceramic and smart fabric from G-Technic, and I use those as well. So I try to keep things somewhat grouped that makes sense. And again, if I decide that something doesn't make sense, like why did I put quick beads here? I can move that very easily to another location. Right next to my snow foams, I have my polishes. So I've categorized them into three separate shelves. So one was for my heavier cut, the heavier compounds. So I have that right here. And then I have more of the fine compounds. And then the last one are my polishes or my kind of one cut and finish type polishes. So I have all of those right there for paint enhancement, paint correction. So this is definitely one of those products that if I didn't have visible, I may not remember exactly what product I have available to me. So it's nice to have it all right there and I know what I have. And when I'm in a situation that something isn't working or I want to try something different, I can look and see very quickly what I have. Now, all along the bottom here, I have a lot of spray bottles and I just keep those readily accessible. Again, trying to keep them available to me for what I need. And they are in some sense of order. Hopefully it'll make sense. But what I've done is I've started with iron remover and then gone to the general all-purpose cleaners and then to the paint protection type sprays, and lastly, some interior cleaners. And then in these large gallon jugs right here are some other chemicals that I use regularly. And so because I've used them so often, it was a lot less expensive per use to buy the larger quantity. So I only do that for the things that I use a lot of. So over on this part of my wall, I have other detailing supplies, mostly for, again, exterior parts of the vehicle, paint correction, or preparation for paint correction. So for example, in this bin right here are all my clay. So I have some clay bars, everything from mild to the abrasive. I also have my synthetic clay towels and clay sponges. So I keep all of that right here so it's readily accessible. I have a respirator mask if I'm using a solvent or something that is got a really strong odor. I have that available. Got some auto masking tape in case I am doing some paint correction with a polish that can stain. Have hearing protection, just some miscellaneous brushes, have gloves. So those are always readily available to me. My polishers are right here and the chargers. I also have a Milwaukee heat gun that occasionally I use when I need to heat something up. If I'm removing an adhesive or something. So that's a battery operated heat gun. Have my Milwaukee polisher, my Rupes 3-inch polisher, and a cordless drill so I can use drill brushes when cleaning mats and those kinds of things. Got some extra batteries for the Milwaukee products, brushes, pet hair tools, shop towel, disposable shop towels, my Milwaukee paint correction light. And then way over here in the corner is where I have my tire dressings. So I've got two things of different tire dressings, tire cleaner, those are all right there. And I have a 50-foot extension cord as well. That's right there and available if I need it. So right over here, I have my air compressor and an air hose on a reel. I also have the Tornador gun that is already hooked up, ready to go. I have my IK Foam Pro 12. This is not the one with the battery pack and its own compressor, but it does have the Schrader valve, so you can pump air into it or you can do it manually. I use the Milwaukee air compressor most of the time because I don't keep this filled with air. So unless I'm going to use it for other things, I just haven't turned it on. And the Milwaukee compressor is so small
That it's really the tire inflator. It's very small. I'll show you that. That's fills it up in, about a minute. So it's great to have around. But I keep all of this right here. It's out of the way, but plenty of air hose to get anywhere that I need to here in the garage. Also, I'm sitting on the Viper Low Pro chair, which was my splurge recently. It really is nice. It is expensive, so it's not one of those must-haves at all, but it's very durable, very comfortable, and makes detailing a little bit easier. So I don't use a detailing cart per se, as many detailers do, and I think those are a great concept. I have some, even though I have a three-car garage, it's 600 square feet, you think you got plenty of space, but this is a house. And so there's a whole bunch of other stuff. There's trash cans, there's storage, there's a Christmas tree, there's another car. So there's not a ton of space to move all around the car as easily as I would like. But I did buy this Milwaukee. So this is the Milwaukee pack out storage, and I have the drawers that are on the pack out dolly. And so I like this because I can move it around, and I do use it from time to time, especially when I'm doing a ceramic coating and I need a place to put the bottle. I need a place to put my microfiber towels. So I have a little bit of work service here, but I can also keep certain supplies here. So I have my paint correction, some supplies in here, as well as interior, and I'll walk you through all those drawers. But my point is, I can move this around. And so that's really nice to have, and it's handy because again, you can pick what pack out storage components you want. And these are fully compatible with the whole pack out system. So let me quickly just take you through what I have in these drawers. So this top drawer are some ceramic coatings. Second drawer though are what I would call my active coatings. These are still good. They have plenty of life on them or haven't been opened at all. Also steel wool for some chrome polishing if I need that, or even glass. I have a paint depth gauge right here as well. I use the Next Pro, which is very nice to have. So I keep that just readily accessible here. This drawer has also got more coatings in it. So this drawer also has some additional coatings. These are still good coatings, brand new. I have some applicators, additional coatings, no soak applicators, which are really nice to have. So I keep all of that right here. So this has kind of become my coating kind of cabinet, at least the top three drawers. So this next drawer is where I keep a lot of my interior tools. So I have lots of different brushes that I have right here that I use. My Bigfoot claw. I have lots of different small applicators to get in really tiny spaces. These funnels are really cool from Adams, I think, or Griot's. I got these from Griot's Garage. Small, medium, large. So they fold up really nice, but they're great when I'm trying to pour something into a smaller bottle and not spilling. Just a whole bunch of other applicators. These are very helpful sometimes, these really small applicators to get in really small spots on the interior. So I keep those readily accessible. So this is where I keep the Rupes Nano Polisher, some pads, and batteries. Don't use it a ton, but it's readily accessible for whenever I need it. The things that I am very fortunate to have that, again, was here when we got the house was this vacuum. So this vacuum serves as a built-in vacuum throughout the home, but it also has a connection here and a hose. All of this was here for vacuuming out here in the garage. So this works perfect for, it's very powerful, and it works great for when I'm vacuuming cars. So in the back of the garage here, I've got these two sets of tall cabinets. They're 36 inches deep, which is great from the amount of storage, but not so great in that the depth, that trying to reach back and grab things and you can't really have different products behind other products in the front because you can't really see them. So there's some disadvantage to all of this. Now, remember, these cabinets were all built in when we purchased the home. They're not exactly how I would have designed them, but you make it work, right? This whole cabinet over here is just open for my video equipment. This cabinet is all my microfiber. So let's take a look in there and see what I've got. Said primarily what I keep in here are my microfiber towels. Now I've got some other household things way up here, but my microfiber on these three shelves. So I've got three shelves here, which I'll show you. And I just have them organized by type of towel that I'll be using to use. So again, that just helps ensure I'm using the right towel for the right purpose and that I'm keeping them organized and I can just grab them. So over here are my exterior towels. Then I have my glass towels, interior only, and then I have a whole bunch of utility towels over here that basically I could use to clean up any kind of mess. And then the shelf below are all my drying towels. So down below here, I have all my drying towels. I have several different styles of towels. As you probably know, my favorite is the DIY drying blanket, but I've got lots of different drying towels. One of the things I also have is I do keep separate towels for wheels. So I have those right here as well. These are all marked. Everything is labeled. So this is drying wheels, drying paint, my interior only towels. Everything is labeled so I know what I have and where it is. I've tried to also, any extra supplies or things, I try to keep everything so that it's really visible so that then I know exactly what I have. So while I've shown you most of my detailing supplies, there's some other things that are in the workspace here in the garage that I think are worth sharing because they may resonate with you and may give you some ideas. So as you can see on the wall here, I have my Milwaukee, I have some more batteries. I've got this rapid charger, which charges both M18 and M12 at the same time. Fire extinguisher right over there. You should have a fire extinguisher in your garage. I've also installed a heat and smoke detector in the garage. So it's connected to our alarm system. Most people don't think about that, but I was a former firefighter, so I do think about it. A lot of fires start in the garage, and guess what? Most people aren't in the garage a lot, so it goes undetected. So I wanted to make sure we had heat and smoke detectors in areas of the home where we're not present a lot of the times. So while not completely detail related, we have all these drawers that are available to us here in the garage. Again, we were so fortunate to have all of this built in. And I've used each of these for different household and sometimes some auto supplies. So in this case, this top drawer is using tool grid to just have a bunch of bins for all those miscellaneous screws and nails and things that you tend to have available in your home. And it's super nice to have them organized, easily accessible, very visible. So I'm not going out and buying things that I don't need. If you haven't quite figured it out yet, I love being organized. I love having everything to have a spot and to know exactly where to find it when I need it. And it's also makes it real easy to put things back because everything has a place. Because I'm obsessed with organizing, this is one of my favorite drawers. It's got all my different sockets. It's got sockets for lug nuts. Very, very easy to see. I've got all different sizes, 1/4, 3/8, 1/2. So I've got everything that's organized, easy to find, readily accessible. I've got several different torque wrenches that if I'm removing wheels off vehicles to coat the wheels, it's very helpful to have the right equipment to do it safely and to do it effectively. So one of the other drawers here are all my various screwdrivers, picks, things that you generally need around the house and often when you're working on your car. One other piece of detailing equipment I wanted to show you is the Poker Premium Pro wheel stand and cart. So this thing has worked really well. if you're going to take wheels off and coat them and do a ceramic coating. The wheel goes up on here, this spins, these spin so that you can turn the wheel. I've got a video of when I purchased this, as well as several videos on coating wheels where you'll get to see me use this. Number one, I absolutely recommend the Poker Premium Pro wheel stand. I do not recommend the cart itself. The cart is what's under this. It's on wheels. The wheels don't lock. The cart's not big enough to provide stability. And my driveway is sloped. And if you help me get to my 1,000 subscriber milestone, I have a whole video set to go of bloopers and blunders and all sorts of stuff. And one of those blunders involves this. And you will see why I don't recommend the cart. I appreciate you coming into the garage today and taking the tour. As part of our DIY Tuber Challenge was to show you our detailing workspace, share with you what we like, the tools we use, how we've organized things, and I hope you've picked up a few tips. Look, you don't have to duplicate what I've done. In fact, I would tell you not to do that. Figure out what works for you, no matter how big, no matter how small. But you can take these principles of keeping things accessible, making things efficient for you, which ultimately means if you're an employer, your employees are working more efficiently, which means they're going to be happier, but you also have the opportunity to do more volume. And if you're a DIYer, then it just makes you happier when there's not a lot of hassle involved, that you can just get what you need, do what you want to do, and enjoy it. Because the more friction involved with detailing or frankly any activity, the less likely you are to enjoy it, and then you won't do it. So I'm all about making things easy. And hopefully you understood that and saw how my logic worked when I designed my workspace around what was already in place. I very much appreciate your time. I'm so glad that you watched this video. And again, I'm grateful for you. Appreciate a thumbs up, a subscribe would be awesome. Thanks for coming into my garage today. Go detail and have some fun.